let's turn our attention to the Murphy Show hotline, where former Congressman Matt Gaetz is with us, promoting an event. The Reagan folks are hosting an event in Lebanon, Tennessee that's happening on Saturday, June 7th, and Matt will be there from 4 until 6 o'clock. VIP tickets available for you, and I'll give you all of the details in just a moment about that. It's good to speak with you. Hello, Matt. How are you?
I am great. We are in the golden age of America, and I'm pretty excited about the direction the country's heading in. I'm excited to be heading to Lebanon, Tennessee on the 7th of June, and we're going to have a good time talking about how everybody can participate in hopefully the improving conditions of the country, a secure border, safe streets, and hopefully an agenda for President Trump that'll make its way through the Congress.
Well, obviously, so many folks in Middle Tennessee, as red as we are, with the few blue spot exceptions. I've been talking all over the country this week about how Nashville is not representative of the rest of the state, considering our silly mayor over here. But how wonderful the state of Tennessee will receive you, with maybe a few protest exceptions. But I know the Reagan Society is excited to have you. I'm curious how excited you are to see the first several months of the second Trump term, and is there any regrets on your part not being in the House of Representatives, or you've kind of sailed on from that part of your life?
Well, there is an end to every sentence. I mean, even the zebra got to escape.
That's good.
I was in Congress for 8 years, and that's about the right amount of time. I think there are some folks who are there for 20, 30, 40 years, and I think even with people with the best of intentions, if you stay in that town too long, you catch a dose of the Potomac fever. And what's interesting about the Trump movement and the MAGA movement is that it's very vertically integrated. I mean, we've got people from the school board level to the mayoral level, to Congress, to the Senate, to the vice president we have who's excellent, really making sure that this is a movement built to last. And you do have a few stars in Tennessee, and folks like Andy Ogles and Tim Burchett and Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty. You got really some of the best. But you've got this mayor in Nashville who seems to want to invite like every illegal alien to the Music City. I thought it was wild enough just having every bachelorette party in America in Nashville, but now like they're inviting the third world, and we'll probably point out why that's a bad idea and why all good folks from the volunteer state should be on our side for sanity.
Well, no, it's not going to, much like many of those bachelorette parties, it's not going to end well, Matt. I promise you. And Mayor Freddie can yap all he wants about it, but now that he has attempted to dox ICE folks, we're on top of that story, and we're going to get to the bottom of it and see what he did and what he knew and when he knew it. So hopefully,
isn't this a crazy moment we're in, where like, it used to be that Democrats and Republicans both wanted a secure border.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a difference of opinion on did you want a wall or a fence or drones or whatever. Now we're literally to the point where you have local officials trying to terrorize people who have signed up to keep our communities safe. That is the level of distortion they have. And I feel like we haven't really changed a lot on our side. We'd like the border to be secure. We'd like to back the people in law enforcement who are trying to improve quality of life in the communities where we live. And they have just gone like totally crazy on us.
Yeah, no. And Matt Gaetz, our guest, former Florida congressman, he's coming to the Reagan Society dinner in Lebanon in just a couple of weeks, and we'll tell you more about that in a second. Matt, I've said this about Doge. It occurs to me, I've been doing this 25 years, and I, have Democrats on. I'll invite anybody on that's willing to talk to me, and I try to find a place of common belief, and then we can branch off from there. And it was always a place for me to go with liberals. Well, we all agree that we want to cut waste and fraud and abuse, right? And they'd say, oh, of course, yeah, waste, fraud, and abuse, we need to cut that down, we need to cut that out. You know what? If anything else, what Elon Musk and the Doge team has taught us, they've been lying for the entire time. They have no interest in cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. They just want to spend, and increase their power and, by extension, their corruption.
Yeah, and it's not like Elon was cutting to the quick.
Right.
Is it a controversial position here that if there's going to be a gay pride festival in Prague, that maybe the people of Prague should pay for it, not the U.S. taxpayer,
Amen.
While we're on a path to $50 trillion in debt? Like, if people in Peru want transsexual comic books, don't you think they should pay for them rather than some poor schmuck in Indiana who's, like, trying to save up for his kid's college education. I just think that it was pretty basic. And the way they reacted, Elon used to be their knight in shining armor. They used to love Elon when he was sending people to space and building cars. And now they were ready to burn him in effigy because he thought that people at the Department of Education should have to explain what they did at work last week.
Matt, if you were still in Congress, big if, I mean, I understand that you probably get it a lot, but I do have to ask, would you have been, Elon said, mentioning him, that, I think the bill can be big. I think it can be beautiful. I don't think it can be both. I'm hopeful that now it's in the hands of the Senate, that it will continue. We'll see more cuts and will reduce the size of the deficit. I'm very frustrated with the bill as it exists. Do you think you would have been a no on this, or would you have allowed it to slide over to the Senate like it did?
I don't blame anyone who voted for this bill, given how bad President Trump wanted the policy features of it. I told my wife this morning, I think I would have had a real hard time voting for these spending levels under any conditions, because there were choices that could have been made to move a lot of these programs to state enforcement and state optimization, and you could have saved a lot of money without reducing benefits for people. Like, if you told California that the federal government wasn't going to pay for them to put illegal aliens on Medicaid anymore, then you would not have had to decrease Medicaid benefits in a lot of places while still giving the states more ownership of those programs. And the lack of courage there, I think, is pretty persistent in among Republicans on Capitol Hill. Again, you've got some of the very best, like Tim Burchett, like Andy Ogles, Harshbarger, Green. They were doing everything they could to have less spending in the bill. But I think that if we get every other problem in our country under control and we still go to $50 trillion in debt over the next 10 years, we'll probably still lose the country.
Yep.
And so somebody still has to care about spending levels. It can't just be about policies to spur growth. We actually have to, here's one that's not popular. And you know what? I can say this now because I am a former congressman. Why do we allow people to eat their way onto disability? Okay, we are paying for people to get Uber Eats delivered to them, who are then becoming so obese that they claim that they're too large to go to work.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
That is insane. That is just insane.
No, you're exactly right. And this is the best shot we've got. I've made a lot of declarations over my years of doing this, but I've declared if we can't see substantial cuts into the deficit and at least show me the path to a balanced budget. I don't need it this year. I don't even need it next year. Just show me the path to the balanced budget. If we can't find that with all of the attention being paid to it now, I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's just a fool's errand at that point.
Yeah, but we have to start making preparations in our life for what the world looks like if this country has to endure rapid austerity because the dollar loses its status as the global reserve currency. Because there actually are people we care about and want to take care of. Veterans, senior citizens, the vulnerable, the disabled. But when you've got somebody who's 27 years old playing Grand Theft Auto and picking up a few DoorDash gigs and expecting the rest of us to pay for their health care along with our own, it's just not a sustainable model into the future.
You'll hear more of this at the Reagan Society dinner. It happens from 4 until 6. It is June 7th. All you need to do is go to Eventbrite, and I'm going to fill in all of those details when I don't have Matt on the phone because I don't want to waste his time with that. But we'll give you all of the details where you get tickets. Tickets are very cost effective, a little bit more money, and you get to meet the man himself, Matt Gaetz. One final thing I got to do with you before you go, Matt. I'm doing this out of love for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, say Lebanon.
Lebanon.
That's the way they say it. There you go. A bunch of our friends over in Lebanon said, "Hey, tell Matt how to say it." So Lebanon.
Oh no, I'm glad because I would not have known that.
No. They shamed me for 6 months when I first came to Tennessee because I pronounced it Lebanon, and they're like, "Who is this fella?" I mean, this is a.
Oh no.
So, no.
Well, I mean, it wasn't Tennessee the original state that set up the carpetbagger nomenclature.
There you go.
I would sound like a carpetbagger.
Yeah, and even though you're from Florida, you're still a carpetbagger.
I am a Florida man.
Matt, God bless you, brother. Thank you for coming to the state. Let's do this again very soon. All the success in the world on OAN. You're a rock star over there, and we love watching you.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day, guys.
All right, brother. Take care. There's former Congressman Matt Gaetz.